And just like that, we are back again on a Sunday, episode 68 of Who's Fighting. Gentlemen, LT, Kam Gee. How you guys doing, man? You can tell from my voice, it was a long yesterday. But much needed. I'll do it twice. I'll do it again, man. It was all worth it.
This should be a fun show, man.
Oh man,
Yeah.
It was great weekend of boxing, big time.
Yes, and before we get into the real content of the day, but what's like I would like, or I would like to hear how you guys set up for yesterday. Like, did you go to a bar? Did you have a watch party? What was the lead up? Like, you know, that's some of the cool stuff that happens during fight week, you know, weekends, that is.
Man, I chill with some people I know down here, some close friends, and enjoyed some good, well-cooked barbecue. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Great night, man.
I was hanging out with a lot of my high school friends. So my high school quarterback, you know, still the leader of the group, brought everybody together, and we watched at his house, and it was good times, man. It was good times. Missed a little bit of the action, you know, when you have the libations are flowing, but it was all in all the energy was high. It was good, good, great environment, actually, great fight environment.
Yeah. I set up my outside deck with a projector, had my cooler with alcohol, you know, grown up beverages in there. Had like catering being brought to the house. So we had a little bit of jollof, a little bit of plantain, and just also like, you know, like some cheese dip and some. Oh, we had a set it. We had like an assortment of all sorts of food. And of course, my boys, you know, we watched most big fights together, showed up. And like you, there was libation happening, conversation, arguments that sometimes you miss some of the rounds. And, you know, it wasn't as like prior to other fights where it's more of my intimate space where I could take notes for the show. This was it was this was an event or something of that nature where even a casual person, like, my friends brought a +1, and this person knows nothing about boxing, but they know Canelo, and they know Bud. So it was that time. It was a celebration for the most part. Now that has been set, we all talked about the setting that we were in. Let's dive into it. As some of you, if you've been living in a rock somewhere, you don't know what's going on. Canelo Álvarez took on Terence brought Crawford yesterday in Las Vegas at the Allegiant Stadium. And I tell you, for those that didn't watch it, it did not disappoint. Before we jump into the actual results, fellas, why, you know, the whole gladiator saying, are you not entertained? Were you entertained by this clash? Was it what you expected? Was it like a Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather? Did he surpass your expectation?
Some of us call Allegiant Stadium Arrowhead West.
Man, I've been to a Raiders Chiefs game there, and it was definitely I can confirm that.
So Mexican Independence Weekend.
Yes,
very festive.
Yes,
very ceremonial. What was the question again?
Like you know, like the good old gladiator question: are you not entertained? Did it meet your expectations?
I was thoroughly entertained. Not even before the main card started, watching the prelims. Brandon Adams, like, just
that was it.
Turkey was there early in his t-shirt, just being a fan before he put on his traditional garb. He was there in a t-shirt front row for the long haul. It just, when you can just admire your work like that, it's beautiful. It's great. It's a great thing. So
Very, very, very entertaining. I mean, I know we're going to get to the main event, but man, the undercards, the YouTube prelims. I mean, it was very intriguing, a little drama. There was some lows in the action, but that Brandon Adams and Sergey Boychuk was very interesting. That was in the prelims, but I feel like it did set the tone a little bit. But I think that fight deserved a larger stadium audience. But man, another great event. Some of the matchmaking was criticized. I was seeing, but I think overall it was a great event, great weekend of boxing. And that stadium over there in Vegas is top notch. It's legit. It's legit.
Did you see the outside shots? Like they had like kind of like a sculpture, or I don't know if it's a sculpture for both fighters in black, and it looked like like a statue or something like that. I was like, yo, did they just do this and move stuff around? That must have cost money.
Oh yeah, I have an interesting tidbit about that because we went to Emporia State with one of our classmates. His dad got a job for Allegiant Stadium, so he's like the head of operations there. Nice. So it's very interesting that an Omaha native is running the event where Terence Crawford creates history. So just a little interesting tidbit there, but
fact.
Yeah, that is it's overall, man, a lot of little cool things overall with the weekend.
Yeah. And just because we could, let's slow cook this a little bit. Let's talk about the lead up to the fight. Some things were said. I'll start with Dana White having the back and forth with Canelo about state of boxing. Canelo didn't bite his tongue, and in a covert way, Taki Al-Hashik endorsed Canelo with the whole, when I took over Riyadh season, boxing was the 14th ranked sport in the United States. And he asked the listeners to kind of go do their research to see how boxing is doing now. And it's kind of weird that TKO is in the promotion, but kind of like dumping on this sport, and Dana White putting his chest out like he's the savior, low-key. There was a lot of posturing, but again, that's money talk that on a level that I would never understand. Maybe that's how they get down as friends or business. But from the outside looking in, if I'm taking it as a street deal, it's a posturing of, kind of that you're helping me, but behind right here, I got a knife, like shaking your hand, that type of posturing where Dana had an event that same exact day in San Antonio, but there was no representation of Dana there. But his announcers and everyone who works, not everyone, I think most of the people that work for I don't know if it's ESPN or UFC, they were announcing this fight. Oh, they were helping with this fight here. So I don't know, fellas, did that kind of pique your interest, seeing some of the activities leading up with Dana and Turkey kind of working together, but kind of like putting their chests out? Or you never saw that type?
No. I don't. Yeah.
I mostly ignore Dana White. I mean, that's just me. I mean, I do appreciate his passion, but he's crossing over into boxing, and I don't know how that personality will mesh with the overall fight fans. I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
He's done it 2 times, and he's had a slam dunk. He has slam dunked the ball in emphatic style both times. One was with Mayweather, McGregor, and this one. And they both were big. Probably he said he made the biggest paydays in boxing. I think that's one of the stuff he was kind of pushing out there. And then Turkey was like, oh, not really. I've been doing this for 2 years, since 2023 in the stadium. So they're kind of like going up, but they're working together. But I think it's just billionaire flexing on a level that maybe we should not even be talking about it. Maybe I should mind my broke business and just watch the fight stuff.
It's those these fights would do well without someone like Dana White because of the names involved, you know. So it's hard to say that. But you know, that in the pre-fight press conference when he was pressed about the Ali Act and how they're trying to implement these different changes, I think I would have liked to see an answer there. You know, you're stepping out in front of the boxing world, and you had a reporter who asked you very direct questions as far as, you know, your plans in the sport, and he basically shut him down and belittled, you know, little boy the guy, and you know, did the whole next question thing, which I didn't really like. I didn't really care for. I think if you're gonna be in front of boxing, you know, it's 30-second answer, and I think that suffices, and you can move on to the next one. You know, declining to answer direct questions at that stage, and you're saying you're gonna be in front of boxing is just, it didn't really sit well with me. But like I said, it's only been his second event, so until he starts, you know, running these things back to back to back, you know, it's just he's someone that's crossing over, trying to do his thing right now.
So, right. All right. Without further ado, let's talk about the main event. We had, like I said earlier, we had Terence Crawford versus Canelo Álvarez. These are two of the most decorated fighters of this generation. Both of them are kind of getting into their athlete twilight years, more so Terence than Canelo. Canelo is only 34, I believe, but he's kind of signaling that he wants to do something else. I don't know. Terence, 37, turning 38 here soon. Both of them are like champions in, I believe, multiple weight divisions. I think this was the third one for Bud. Canelo is maybe 2. I can't remember. Maybe 2 or 3. I can't. I may need to be fact checked. I'll start it off. Man, what a fight! Our predictions were spot on, kind of. Although we all said split, but we did all agree to this is going to be a 12-rounder, and we all agreed with the victor, who was Bud Crawford. So, fellas, you want to add to that?
Yeah, a couple things. I thought there was going to be more holding, but then once I seen who the referee was like, yeah, that's out the window. I was surprised at how big the ring was. I'm like, oh, this definitely favors Bud Crawford.
Yeah.
And for the trifecta, I asked this question to Kam, and I got it. There was at least one uppercut landed on Canelo by Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Bud
likes that punch. Bud likes that punch, though.
Yeah, man. So I have been waiting for that moment for a long time. And
since Triple G, I don't think we really seen Canelo get hit with an uppercut since Triple G.
A decade, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Right.
Let's talk about it. Initially I didn't get into this on my predictions, but I was thinking more style changes and more stance just to keep Canelo off guard, which there was an element to that, but it was predominantly fought out of southpaw. Yeah, that was it surprising. It shouldn't have been a surprise. I thought it was gonna mix it up a little bit more, but if it's working, like why if it ain't broke, why, you know what I'm saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So just thoroughly impressed. Pot shot from range, don't really let yourself get touched. And we know that Canelo's older. He's a little bit more lazy in his old age. We know that he wants people to be available there for him, and Crawford never made himself available. Not like that, at least. So
what did you think about the scorecards, the 115? You know how I feel about that.
So I predicted that that's what it would be. But it was such a dominant performance that you couldn't rob him. You know, it's undeniable. It was such a dominant performance that was going to be the score.
Yeah.
You know,
during our predictions, I did mention if Terence is gonna win this, he's gonna fight not like Terence fights normally, where he starts late. He was early on Canelo, and Canelo historically is always late. He waits. You make a mistake, he punishes you. Terence was flawless, bro. And even when he got touched, looked like Terence could take that dude's power, and I was like, okay, this is kind of reminding me of the Bivol fight, not in style, not the stiff jab, but Canelo looks visibly frustrated. He's turning red. Like he's fighting ghosts. Like he's fighting a guy who could sit in the pocket, exchange with him, turn around, mix it. You try to clinch. He felt his power in the clinch. That won't work. I think Canelo kind of lifted him up one time when kind of had a headlock thing, or like a weird clinch, and Canelo felt like, yo, this guy kind of he's a wrestler. I mean, Terence can wrestle, so it felt like this guy got power, right? So what Canelo did really good, even if he should have done more of, was to, and this is why we kind of beat him up, but not beat him, but we hard on Canelo when he was fighting school, cutting that ring, suffocating. He wasn't doing that, and I felt like Terence started doing whatever he wants to do with Canelo, and I think I gave Canelo maybe 2 rounds, maybe, but it was like dominant. It was the other 10 were like, oh, you were overly dominated, Canelo. Like you touched him up a few times, but he was eating them and just exchanging. Like it was ridiculous, and I didn't honest to God, I didn't think it was going to be this easy for Terence Crawford. He made that look easy. I know it's hard, but he made it look so easy beating Canelo Álvarez.
Yeah, and that's one thing Bud mentioned, but when he previously said he would never go above 154, but in some of the pre-fight lead up, he was saying, I took a long, hard look at him, and I was like, all right, I'll take the fight. And that's something we saw from Floyd. Floyd wouldn't take a fight unless he already devised a game plan to defeat him. Right? He didn't take fights just willy-nilly. Like there was already a study behind the decision to sign the contract. Him starting out in southpaw, that was interesting because typically Terence Crawford, when he feels he understands there's a threat in front of him, he will switch to southpaw. He feels a little more defensively sound in the southpaw stance. Another thing, the size. I thought Terence Crawford fight night looked a little bit bigger than Canelo. And then when they did clinch, physically, you saw the strength. He was able to move Canelo with ease, repeatedly. It was consistent. Every time Canelo likes to throw his he loves that lead body shot with the left. Terence Crawford, I feel like counted it 90% of the time. Right, he was waiting on it, and then Canelo abandoned his jab, and that really hurt him. I thought he actually did a better job of cutting the ring off. We saw Bud getting back into a corner a few times, but Bud is highly skilled and intelligent. He was able to navigate out of those things. So I did feel like I saw Canelo improve that aspect of like, hey, I gotta cut out the ring. I can't let somebody dance around me the whole night. But Terence Crawford just has those subtle things that, hey, I'm gonna move around. I'm in the corner. Now I'm not in the corner. I'm not going to stay there. And then I'm going to win the exchanges, and I'm countering every time you throw a hard shot.
Right.
I mean,
did you notice the brilliantness of Terence's defense is his offense? Like Canelo is a combinations fighter in his own way. Like he got to a point where Canelo was just only landing single shots and could not string any combination because he was just grazing Terence, and on that graze, Terence's attack is countering and walloping Canelo. Like it was brilliant to watch, bro. It was art.
To that point.
No, go ahead.
To that point, as of lately, Canelo fell in love with his power. So he's been single shotting a lot of guys. Canelo will be better served to put his punches together. The viral clip going around now where Canelo's like, what the, like he does a swipe move, right? So he's swiping. He wants to swipe that lead hand down to create space for the right hand, right? If he turns that into a jab instead of a swipe, he gives himself a higher probability of landing that right hand. Since he swiped, Terence Crawford, extremely savvy, moves that hand away, slips, and then throws the left hand. Had that been a jab, that sequence looks a little bit different. So just seeing the back and forth there, but the Canelo as of later in his career, he is a little lazy and he is in love with his power. The jab would serve him well in a fight like this. And we saw that he was only able to land single shots, whereas Terence Crawford was able to catch or block shots or slip shots and come back with multiple 4 shots at a time. So, I mean, man, they just had it down.
That's a similar sequence. That's on film, right? Terence, I'm sure the camp seen this on film in the Floyd Mayweather fight where same thing. He goes to swipe. This is a young Canelo. Goes to swipe Mayweather, and then he throws the right. Mayweather shoulder rolls it. I think he comes back with his own right.
Straight. Yep. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So now, but one of the things I started noticing later on in the fight, and like Canelo isn't peppering the shoulders and the biceps or none of that. You brought up the point that he abandoned the jab, and it's like this guy's moving freely and just undamaged. And usually Canelo settles to hit whatever he can on the way in.
Yeah. It wasn't available to him. He wasn't making that available to him. Every time he extended his arms to punch, Terence Crawford conditioned Canelo to understand that every time you punch, I'm going to come back with 2 and 3 shots. Right. So there's a back and forth. There's creates a little bit of hesitation that allowed him to get caught with multiple shots in exchanges.
Yeah. Let's say, so Cam, let's say that if there was a rematch and Bud is doing this work from the outside, is that not available with the 4-inch reach? All right, he may be coming and then a counter to the bicep or up inside shoulder.
I think it was the physical strength, right, that negated that, because Canelo is very smart, right, but sometimes the physicality you can't prepare for. Right. So I think Bud was so physically strong that some of the things that Canelo would like to do weren't available for him to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're starting to realize with Bud is that fight night, he's been the stronger man. We saw that in the Spence fight. We was very shocked at how he was just able to move Spence around. We never saw that. Right. We saw in the clinch with Canelo, he turned him with ease. Like I can't remember seeing Canelo being moved in the clinch, right? And I think that's why we saw the frustration where Canelo drops his head and then he lifts up Crawford. He was frustrated. I want to show you some physicality on my end. I can move you too. But you know, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. It was, man.
And to give Canelo, like, yeah, he got beat, but he had some good moments. And yes, we said Terence set the tone. Terence established the distance and also came in when he had to come in. But when Terence was coming in, one thing that I realized Terence respected from Canelo were the body shots. You could see, yes, they didn't damage Terence too much because of the high guard and how good he was pivoting off them to like not let them land. But I think Canelo stopped doing that after round 4.
He was getting countered every time. Every time he threw a lead left hook to the body, Terence Crawford caught on the elbow. He either was turning, off of that, or he countered it. And that was very consistent. He conditioned Canelo to understand that if you throw this punch, I'm taking it away.
Sure. And to me, I thought the body shots were like moving. I could see Terence respected that, and he kind of like the way he was high guarding and pivoting. It looked like, yo, maybe you could work off the body leading to the top. But again, like you said, he wasn't stringing any combinations. It was like single shots. And I think that's what led the first clinch I saw Terence doing, which was a great wrap-up clinch, was because of a body shot. And Canelo was trying to, like, you know, put another one there, and then Terence clinched him. And that's when they were like next to the ropes, and then they kind of split them. And I'm like, oh, maybe that clinch maybe it's working. But again, it was such a dominating effort from Terence Crawford that, man, it's like I could see in the 10th round, especially 10th round is when I knew this fight is done. He's not gonna get knocked out. Like I knew. Sorry, go.
It took you that long?
No. You know, because there's a punch. Anyway, Canelo got that punch.
Chance.
Chance 11th land something.
Yeah.
At that 10th, I knew he didn't even have energy because he looked tired. He started doing feints to like save up and, you know, just do all sorts of things that Canelo does not do. You know, instead of boys, yeah. And even when they had that exchange in the last round, Terence could have knocked him out. I think I saw Canelo wobbly, and I'm like, oh, and then, you know, Saved by the Bell type of thing. We waiting for our brother to get back. He hopped off, but yeah, like this fight, I have to say, it opened our eyes. I mean, most of us. Some people knew already. I know people were like on their phones. Yeah, give me my money. I told you Terence was gonna do this. I don't lie to you. I became a believer. Maybe I'm like I said it last episode. I thought Canelo was too much to take on, so much of a bigger fighter to take on, and I took that back when I saw how Terence was looking at Canelo when they were doing their last promos, and I'm like, nah. Terence got it. The way he's looking at dude, he kind of like I thought he defeated him before defeating him when they were doing those exchanges. And Canelo was being, of course, Canelo likable, joking, friendly. Terence was not having none of that. Just locked in, and I'm like, yeah, that guy is on a mission.
Yeah, I had my doubts after the Madrimov fight. But then I heard Terence's take on it, and I said, okay. All right. And so then also, you know, after watching the school fight where Canelo's not really interested in cutting the ring off. Like,
yeah.
Okay, I see what this is shaping up for. All right. So.
Yeah. And did you see Taki Al-Hashik's tweet immediately after the fight? Summoning another beast at 168.
So, right, Canelo's under contract for, I believe, 4 more fights. I think this was the second of a 6-fight contract. And I don't know which way he wants that to go, but I don't know. Yeah, hopefully Benavidez deserves an opportunity in a bag. So,
yeah, I mean, the biggest Mexican fight, the two biggest Mexican. I mean, well, Benavidez is there another fighter bigger than? Is Pitbull bigger than Benavidez? I mean, we're talking about status-wise. Is he the second biggest fighter after Canelo? Mexican American or Mexican?
Gotta be.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big money fight.
Yeah.
You have an audience that is ready for that. Boxing enthusiasts want to see that. Benavidez deserves that type of stage. He's putting in work. It's not like Canelo's doing charity work with a Balenga. You know, this is deserved. I'm not saying Balenga didn't deserve that Canelo fight, but
he did.
He had to put in that work to get step on that stage with that type of cash cow. But
let's acknowledge though, Bud Crawford, first male 3 division undisputed. Skip had 1 fight at 154, skipped 160, jumped up to 168, take on an impossible task. They asked him afterwards if he's willing to go back down to 154. He said he wasn't interested in it. So, and that's where a lot of the names are. So let's hope that in particular, they said going down to 154 to fight Boots, and he was like, I ain't going down to 154. So maybe these fights will happen at 160. Like maybe we'll see Bud and the Charlos.
So let's talk about the generation of Bud, Earl Spence, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter. Who else am I missing here? Amir Khan, maybe from overseas. Kell Brook. Who am I missing here?
In the post-fight interview, he said Mean Machine in his opinion, Mean Machine punched harder than Canelo Álvarez.
No, oh wow. Yep. I mean, we were not talking about Terence like that because he was fighting with a different promotion. I mean, everybody was on we were on the
he was on the wrong side of the street.
Yeah, we were on the other side. So he's the guy now, looking at it, he's the GOAT of this generation.
Yeah. What else can you say? What else can you say?
Can I put Canelo in that generation too? And that makes it's different weight category. Canelo everywhere. Right.
No, he did it. He beat everybody that was in front of him. He never had a chance at Pacquiao.
Never had. Yep.
We never got to see. We never seen Thurman, but
Thurman.
That might be a sunset fight if they're interested, but it's hard to, but.
So it's fair to give him the title now. He's the GOAT of that generation after the Floyd Mayweather generation.
Three division undisputed, and he beat the guy who beat everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
Like
you'll take
everybody but the Mexican Monster. So
yeah, I guess I mean, I never really thought of Terence being in that GOAT conversation, but after yesterday, word is going out. Like, hey, look at his resume.
I mean,
we used to hit him with that same stick, which was the resume. He's not fought no one.
This is the resume accelerator. This is the resume booster.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Kam Gee.
Welcome back,
man. I was in the ether. Had to reset. I'm on my phone, so
yeah. We talking about. Did you catch the conversation in the back? We're talking about Crawford's legacy and this generation's GOATs. We broke down his alum for this generation, and we talked about the Earl Spence of the world. Maybe Canelo could be put in that alumni group. Kell Brook, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, Adrian Broner.
You're naming the PBC roster.
Yeah, all of them.
It went through them.
All of them dudes. He's the GOAT of that generation. He's the best. He's the greatest of that time. Yeah, this time. And after yesterday, I do agree.
There's that cutoff. There was Mayweather, and then there was this next generation.
Because initially I was gonna give it to Canelo as the GOAT.
He's officially wait. Listen, bro. He's officially knocked out Sean Porter.
Yeah.
Amongst others,
a tough taking all the tough fights and people have that criticism like who he's fought, but when he's got in the ring with each one of these individuals, they say the same thing. Canelo said, "Hey, he has everything." Right? It was the speed, it was the power, it was the skill, the IQ. I mean, he's able to figure out each style and come out on top consistently.
Yeah,
and that's not by mistake. So we got to recognize the greatness that is Terence Bud Crawford. Yeah. So it was a pleasure to watch it. I stood up and clapped. I was the only one standing up clapping, but I felt like it was
generational.
It was absent. Yeah, man. It was just like, man, I can't believe I got a chance to watch this.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the only thing I was wrong about was I don't think he officially made Canelo bleed. I didn't see that. There was some bruising.
They put a cut on the scorecard. There was a little baby cut on the right eye. Like it was small. No bean dip. No bean dip. This would.
Yeah.
You know what? This fight will be a fight we rewatch, so maybe we can go back and look at it. But
I definitely
and the dog, and he did let himself off the leash after the 7th.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were just talking about how they closed that 12th round, and I thought I told LT I thought Canelo was going to get knocked out. That last sequence of exchanging, and I saw Canelo wobbly leg, then he was kind of saved by the bell, and he put his hands up like he would want. I'm like, nah, dog, you look like you took some big shot.
No, that was in celebration of the check.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, we did it.
Talk about pocket watching. 10 million. Whoever negotiated it is 10 million for Bud. Wow.
Wait, is that? I heard something else.
Okay, maybe we're wrong. I mean, what was surfacing the internet was Canelo was taking home about 110 or so, while Bud was taking maybe 10 to 15. Again, that's just internet, and it's not official. It's not, but that type of, I can't even tell you what percentage. It's kind of crazy. If you're Bud Crawford because his last fight he took 35, right? Or the fight with Earl Spence, he took 35 or something like that.
Yeah, I heard 50. So let's.
50, maybe because I know Carissa makes like 5 mil or something. She makes millions. Carissa makes millions.
Yeah.
Speaking of Clarissa, she made a point to mention that he was the first male, not the first boxer to be 3-time undisputed. So
yeah. And then there's other technicalities too, because there's a 3-belt era and
there's fighters that fought across in modern day would be 5 eras. So you know, gotta do it.
Hey, salute Bud, and salute to his subtle trolling. He's a troll. He had the fishnet in the first fight, in the fight with him and Mr. And Earl Spence. This time he had the guitar.
Yeah, man, that was a head scratcher. I was like, okay, I'm waiting on it.
Yeah, and if you're not in the loop, him and a UFC fighter called I forgot his name. He's a champ.
Ilia Topuria.
Topuria. I've been having this back and forth thing where Topuria thinks he could go in there and dance with Bud and probably knock him out. And Bud kind of like brushes him off like shush fly, don't bother me type of thing. Like he didn't even pay any attention. The music that was played when Mr. Crawford was walking out was the same music that Topuria walks out to. Happens to be the same. I mean, of course, today is Mexican, I think it's a national holiday, Independence Day, I believe. Independence Day, Mexico's Independence Day. One of their big movies of the culture was by Antonio Banderas. What's the movie?
Desperado,
yes. And he was, I believe, an assassin that kept a gun in the guitar case or some stuff like that. And Bud was simulating that.
Right. Game. Yeah, man, I was confused. I'm like, man, am I lagging right now? Like, what's going on? Is Netflix not coming through in this moment? But it all makes sense afterwards. Said that was actually his friend performing that. His childhood friend was actually the one performing that live. So that's a dope moment.
Right. And I was like, yo, Bud, like your troll game, I'm staying. And it's subtle. He's not like, it's just a subtle, like, let me shoot 2 birds with 1 stone, no pun intended, with a guitar case.
Nice.
And let's milk this opportunity. And I'm sure Bud has a lot of Mexican fight fans in his fan group, so I'm sure they appreciated that homage, whatever they call it, homage.
That was my first time learning that Bud had a large Mexican fight fan base. Typically, we don't see that with American, specifically Black American fighters. Quietly, Terence Crawford is becoming a people's champ. In the UK, he's also a large draw and has a huge fan base there. So To me, in the boxing world, when you can have that global fandom, that is when you know you're a true champion.
You're out there.
So Terence Crawford, the ultimate ambassador for the sport. No nonsense, no rehydration clause.
Mm-hmm.
He can box, he can fight, he's mean, he's respectable. I love the exchange between him and Canelo after the fight, high-fiving his daughter, or Canelo's daughter, and they actually gave the belts back because they exchanged belts, but Canelo keeps his belts because he earned them, and Terence Crawford will get his own. So, I mean, man, just overall, man, just really got to remember this moment, just when you have these big fights like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was a night to remember. Salute to both fighters. Happy to see both of them healthy, leaving the fight with all their faculties intact, and also showing sportsmanship from the side of Canelo, like where he's kind of, I don't know if it's sportsmanship or a dig at Floyd Mayweather, but he always takes his time to add something. But he did say good things about Terence, like you said, and Terence did the same to Canelo. And I think Kam Gee, or is it LT, that said they may be buddies after this. They may actually. I wouldn't be surprised to see them working together, getting ready for their other fights, with other fighters. So salute to the legends for showing us that classic clash, and salute to Bud Crawford for coming out the victor. Moving on to another legend in the making, we are going to Nagoya, Japan. I'm saying that right. This fight actually happened today in the morning, and we'll be bouncing back and forth between today's fight and the fight from yesterday. So, let's talk about Mr. Inoue. He fought. I don't know if it's Uzbekistan or Kazakhstan. Let me say this right. Akhmadaliev. Help me out, LT. You're the mass media person. Akhmadaliev.
I'm gonna go with Akhmadaliev.
Akhmadaliev. Looking at Akhmadaliev's record, looks like a dangerous fighter. 14 victories, 2 losses, 11 KOs. The reason why when I really go into these records, right, it tells me a lot. And when I look at the record, I also look at the fighters' weight. These guys are fighting at super bantam. So if you see a super bantam with 14 fights, 11 knockouts, that's a deadly person.
Correct.
Because those guys slap each other to the 12th round. They are quick-handed. They are combination driven. You don't necessarily see animals like Monster in this weight category, and that's what makes Monster such a special fighter. When I say Monster, I mean Inoue. Inoue has 30 victories, 0 losses, and 27 KOs. He has been on a knockout spree for a long time, but Akhmadaliev did take him the distance. And even watching that fight, it was a great exchange. One of the things that Monster is really good at is, 1, knocking out people. 2, he does it in a way that it's not like he legit at the super bantam has that one punch power. Like you've seen some of his knockouts where he hits somebody so hard their head snaps back. Like he legit has concussive power. It's not like a combination of hits to just take you out. That's what makes him so special. So him going 12 rounds, like we had talked about Kam Gee when we were in the green room, is interesting. And I have to dig into who this fighter is from. I don't know if it's from Uzbekistan, Akhmadaliev, and see more of his fights. Because if you could, I didn't watch this live because it was this morning, but I watched the highlights and he was giving Monster some of the business. Although Monster ended up winning unanimously. As you can see, the score is 117, 111, 118, 110, 118, 110. 2 judges had the same scores on their card. So, fellas, did any of you watch this? I know none of you watched it live. If you watched the Crawford fight,
this was about to come on as I was going to sleep. Still Still off the high from the. I mean,
Right.
The one time you don't have it on a Tuesday, right?
Right. Jeez.
Yeah.
So we really should have everyone should have just stayed up and had a fight. You know, the fight party should have been extended for the monster.
Monster. Right. So this guy, like we were talking. I mean, since I think none of you watched this live, so if you watch the highlights of this, were you impressed with Akhmadaliev? Because we already know what Monster brings to the table.
Oh yeah, he's a very impressive fighter, very technically savvy, and extremely physically gifted. That puts in a lot of room into his puts a lot of work into his fitness and his physique. The scorecards reflected what the fight was, which was it was dominant. He was in control, and I think this scorecard reflects what should have been in the Canelo Crawford fight,
right?
Because they're very similar. You know, the more skilled fighter was able to control and negate what the other fighter likes to do well, which is land power, and in this case, anyway, use his skill, check hooks, strong jabs, footwork, and he was able to avoid any major power shots from Akhmadaliev. So I was just able to finish it before we started this evening, and it was complete control, one round from round 1 to 12. So and this was a fight that we thought would have been a little bit more competitive, but it was a wide margin of victory. It was clear.
And it's just that Inoue is just that much better. Like it looks like watching it. It looks like it's in sped up, like 1.5, 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, it goes to show you that okay, this guy was a step up because he was able to survive.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of deceiving what you're looking at, because all right, let's see him in there with a similar opponent or other competition, you know, and check the eyeball test then. But yeah, the white on white's kind of crazy too. Like they like with the white gloves and the white shorts.
Yeah.
He looks like a gaming character. Inoue has slowly been one of the most active people. I remember we started watching him when he had only like 22 fights. Dude now has 30. What if I remember? Yeah, he had like 25 or something. So he's had like 6, 7, 8, I don't know how many fights he's had, but he's been active, and we've only been doing this for a year. So he's 30 fights, like just like that. He's now 30 fights, 27 KOs. That's a busy man from the last time, you know, back in August when we were talking about Monster, and I think he had fought Felton that time.
Did we cover that? Stephen Fulton was in 23.
23.
Yeah,
maybe
July, maybe after the top of
maybe
the Nuri.
Yeah.
I think it might have been a Nuri and a Delaney.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there, but yeah.
And he made his debut stateside in Vegas, correct?
Yeah.
So
was it Cardenas, and where he actually was knocked down in round 2. So
he's been
put on the ground. He's got up. He's handled business. So
he's had 5 fights
in the calendar year.
Yep, in a year. Wow. 5 fights. So I'm going from May 2024, leading up to September. Wait, no, that's not a calendar year. It starts around. Let's start with this year alone. He's had 3 fights. Starting January 24th, 3 fights. It's weird, like 3 fights. It's okay. Canelo does
September.
3 fights is extremely active for a fighter of his caliber. We got used to the Mayweather schedule where you got a fight in May and a fight in September.
Yeah, most guys had like 2.
Munguia made the mistake and had that last fight in December against Sacre and got.
Yeah, he needed that break. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you know who's active too? Bohachuk. I'm looking at his record here. He had 3 fights last year. This year he has 2 fights. So in that, yeah, he's active. So I'm just looking at people we talk about a lot on the show because these names just recur. Like Inoue, he's fighting again. Who else? There's some other fighters that we just talk about quite a bit because they just stay getting that, getting them fights booked. But hey, salute to Inoue. You already know how we feel about him on this show. We just think he's just taking over that super bantam, and it's his. He's the king. I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. Or anybody slowing him down. Going back to Netflix, and this is yesterday. We'll talk about some of the undercards and some of the co-mains. Let's talk about Callum Welch versus Fernando Vargas Jr. This is at light middleweight. And I mean, there's a lot of hype coming in with Callum Welch as a rising prospect. And he did not disappoint. It was a 10-rounder. He dominated and beat Fernando Vargas Jr. by unanimous decision. What do you guys think? Did you guys catch this?
This was the intermission fight.
Right.
Go to the concession stand, get your plate, get a refill. Yeah.
These will not in any order, but let's just talk about Brendan. Here on my agenda, I have Brendan Adams versus Sergey Bohchak. And I just talk about Bohchak's activity. This, my friends, I think would be contender for fight of the night.
Yes, and year, because just why I went from the onset. These are familiar opponents, and there was no filling out process. They jumped right into bed, like straight to third base. Okay.
Yeah. All that.
Wait, was that fight more entertaining than Conor Ben versus Eubank Jr.?
Yes. There was more intrigue into the Conor Ben and Eubank Jr. fight, but I think stylistically, I mean, these were like devastating.
No, they were trying to kill each other. These two were trying. Adams and Bohchak were trying to kill each other. I understand.
Oh man.
Well, that one was storyline. Yeah, I understand storyline.
A bigger story with that, family legacy and all that. The moment was bigger because it was a main event. This was an undercard that deserved to be on the main Netflix card. It was a shame that some people missed this fight just because of the time that it was on, because it was spectacular, constant action. You saw the will, you saw the skill, and neither guy had any back down. Just Brandon Adams just had a little bit more fire, and he got the win, and he earned it.
Yeah, when I was watching it, man, and the thing is, the stadium was not full yet, so you could hear the echoes of those hits, the body hit, and I'm like, man, bro, these guys are just punching through each other. Like, it was with a lot of venom how much they were just hitting each other. And I'm like, bro, like, I think it was you, Kam Gee, that told me you win by a W, but you're not winning in this type of fight, bro. You going home with something. You're going home with some broken ribs. You're gonna piss blood. Something's gonna happen. Like, you're in a war. And these two fellas, both of them, I commend how strong their chins are, how strong their tolerance of pain, because body shots are no joke. And especially I would say the hammer that I saw the most was Adams. Adams was putting it on Bohchak, and also Bohchak was doing a good job of reciprocating. But man, oh man, these are fighters I can see why people avoid them in their division. Like, I could see why. We saw Jamal beat Brandon Adams. I mean, that's a notable name on his resume, but in his weight division, I can see why people would avoid that type of problem.
Yes, 154. Ooh, wee.
Do they look 154, 155?
Man, they look like they're like 190.
190, yeah. They look bigger than that.
It did not look like that. It was,
It just shows how loaded that division is.
Yeah.
That was the 54. Yeah, the 54 weight class is stacked.
I don't know whose roster is Adam on, but let's keep putting him on cards.
Yeah,
both of these guys.
That was
checking Adams.
That was the problem. They said, with his career, he had some lulls in his action because of manager promotion issues, what have you. But I think with this type of performance on a Turkey card at that, who is a fan, he's a fan with that has the money. Hopefully, he brings it back for bigger opportunities. The fact, the opponent I would like to see him in there with is a Virgil Ortiz because of the Bolchuk had the matchup with Ortiz. So, and Brandon Adams was able to defeat him twice, and we saw how tough a matchup that was for Virgil Ortiz being knocked down twice in that fight. So,
twice, yep.
Stylistically, it looks like that'll be a matchup, just fireworks. Whole fight. So
yeah,
there's something there.
And Brandon Adams is from LA, right? This is a Los Angeles guy, I think.
I know he's from California. I know where at, but yes, definitely.
All right, moving on. We've talked about this fighter quite a bit, maybe his brother. We're talking about Renato Tusami versus Javier Rieto Tusami versus Javier Martinez. Rieto, him or somebody, could be his brother, same last name. I've been on this Turkey, on the Riyadh season cards. And we always talk about, Top Ranking having all the Japanese stable, or that group fight usually on Top Ranking. But in this case, this fighter was on the undercard. I missed this. It was on YouTube, I believe. And apparently he came in and did a quick one and went to the changing room to watch came out with popcorn. I'm just joking. I'm adding that came out with popcorn because it was such an easy job. And he enjoyed the rest of the fireworks. His fight ended in 2 minutes, 18 seconds of the first round by TKO. So I didn't watch it. Did you guys get to watch that one?
Oh, had it on and turned my head and the fight was over.
It was so quick. So quick.
I was interested because the guy was a Dallas, Texas guy. So I was trying to figure out if I knew someone that was really looking for his gym or his Instagram, and then the fight was over. So, he's trying to live up. He's got a big bro in the game, and Turkey's been putting him on. So once again, the first fight wasn't a knockout, right? That was the Ring Magazine card, I believe.
Mm-hmm. There was a heavyweight bout that I missed. Let me see.
Diceko,
and Jermaine Franklin.
That was surprising because I thought Diceko would have just edged it on points. It was a very it was a dud as far as the matchmaking and the fight itself. Franklin took a late replacement, and was able to get the unanimous decision against the former Olympian. So
we talk about 6'9".
Yeah, 6'9" with short arms. I thought that was very interesting. And once I think Max Kellerman pointed that out on the broadcast, and then you see it was a lot of clinching, but it was one of those fights where he just glad it ended, and we can get to the next one.
Well, Franklin, he got gassed at the end, but he did some savvy things, and they pointed out he's got 2 losses. Was it Dillian White and I don't want to.
His resume is not a bad resume at all.
And I think he's a Saginaw guy,
Michigan. So those guys, hey, they get it out the mud up there.
Yeah,
Anthony Joshua, unanimous decision to Anthony Joshua and a majority decision to Dillian White consecutively. So those are the only 2 blemishes he has. He came in a little heavy and made the most of his opportunity. So
yeah, because he definitely had Diceko trained by Yankello, who's a very prominent on Instagram and YouTube. As far as his training, savvy, knowledge, and all that. So very surprising victory right there. But it was one of those fights where it just had to end and somebody had to win. So
yeah. Let's talk about one of the more exciting fights that night. It was a co-main event. We have Christian Mbili representing Cameroon and Quebec, Canada, versus Lester Martinez representing both Nebraska and Guatemala. I mean, more of Guatemala if trains out of Nebraska. It was the first time I was introduced to Lester Martinez, and I was impressed. Of course, Christian Mbili is of conversation in this group. We've always been kind of making our dream matchups for Canelo and for Benavidez, and this Christian Mbili name kind of shows up, and we've always talked about exciting how he is, but he could also die by that same sword. Going over his record, I mean, now that he has a blemish, he has a draw, but without that draw, he's pretty much undefeated with 29 victories, 24 knockouts. I mean, you can see his style. And then the person that I was introduced to, like all of us on Netflix, Lester Martinez, has 19 wins, 16 of them, 0 losses, 16 of those wins are by knockout. So those styles complemented each other. You can see from the knockout percentage they both have, they're both at least above 75% knockout percentage, at least almost close to 80, both of them. So what we saw, I'll tell you this, I saw, correct me if I'm wrong here, and I saw a fight.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't see boxing. I saw a fight.
Yeah, that sums it up.
I didn't see sticking and moving. I didn't see savvy combinations with an uppercut. I didn't see any deceptive angles. I saw people stuck in a small closet, and the closet is locked, and then the winner gets out alive, type of thing.
It's prize fighting, yes, sir. And it's entertainment, and
yeah,
these are styles that we want to see. We have an appreciation for the sweet science, but we have an equal appreciation for blood sport. And when we talk about opponents and potential opponents for the likes of a Canelo, we don't want to see people just going there to survive.
Right.
We want to see gladiators, and hey, we say it all the time: payday, payday, payday. Some people show up to earn a check, and some people show up to do a job. So
sure, they both were wearing their hard hats and coming in out there to do some demolition. Like, bruh, I've never seen, even I was with novices, I've never seen so many hooks in one sequence. And it was no one was controlling it. It was madness, but it was beautiful to look at. And Billy and Martinez just going at it. Hook, body hook, face hook, no sneaky check, hook, jab, nothing, bro. They wanted to, we talked about the Bohachak fight. At least there was a little bit of deception. At least there was a little bit of, hey, let me camouflage this. Let me not just present it to you, but I'll hit you hard. These guys didn't.
Yeah.
You could see that punch coming from a mile away. Like, it was just hey. And the thing is, the fans like this. And that's why I think Christian and Billy will always be a favorite. It's like you said, it's all gas, no brakes for him. He reminds me of a baby Chisora. Chisora approaches the game like that, cut the ring off, and just hook you to death. But is this sustainable? I don't know. I mean, we've seen fighters have long careers like that, and we've seen fighters not fight long, fighting that style. But it's entertaining, and I would want to see a rematch. Sure, let's do it again. I mean, I know they may be in the hospital after the fight. Like, hey, let's do it again. We win at the end. The fans win at the end, and they get paid. So respect. This was for the interim WBC super middleweight status, and like I said, fans are already calling for a rematch. They want to see these guys go at it again. It's just two pit bulls just growling at, just ready to fight, man. It was
nothing was decided. So who's the number one contender?
Yeah.
1A and 1B.
Right. I think Mbili retains his interim status. Because
yeah, he walked away with the belt, which confused some of myself and other novice boxing fans. Yeah, so but yeah, he did walk away with that.
Yeah. So this is the super middleweight. After super middleweight, do we go to cruiser? What's after that?
Light heavy.
Light heavy. Okay. All right. So these are big guys, kind of. Yeah. Well, we want to see this happen. We want to see this fight happen again. So Turkey Sheik, make it happen again. Put them. Let's do the remix. And if it's the same results, let's do it again. I mean, I don't care. That type of draw, I don't care. We won at the end of the day. So, hey, keep on. Moving on from that, we'll talk about the earlier on main card. I would like to say friend of the show or follower of the show, Travis Crawford, was on that stage. And Travis, if you're watching this, a salute for stepping up and taking on this challenge. Muhammad Al-Hil is looked at as a big time prospect over there in Saudi Arabia. As you know, Turkey is pushing that vehicle for Riyadh season. And one of those Riyadh season goals is to promote Saudi Arabia to the world. And if it's through sports, entertainment, and so on and so forth, golf, they do all that stuff. You will see Saudi talent being given that platform to introduce them to the world. So this is one of their talked about prospects from the motherland. He's from actually Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Muhammad Al-Hil. If I'm saying Al-Hil. My Saudi people don't kill me for that if I'm butchering the name, but rather correct me. He won by unanimous decision. This was a 10-round fight, I believe. Was it 10 round or 6? I can't remember. It must have been a 10-round. 10-rounder. With judges giving him, a very decisive unanimous with 99-91, 99-91, 98-92. Yeah, he's the next thing out of Saudi Arabia, fighting at lightweight, and I think he will be in the next coming cards that Turkey puts out, because I think I had that conversation that he did a good job that he could feature in other fights. I would talk about what do we have on the banner here. Let's see. Yeah, I see 3 people watching us live. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what your thoughts are. If you watched the fight, what are the biggest highlights you took out of the fight? Any of the cards, please share with us. We want to hear from our audience and, exchange. Moving on. Oh, this came into the conversation. Crocker. I'll put this in the chat. I didn't watch it.
Well, it's a footnote. Lewis Crocker wins the split decision over Patty Donovan to win the IBF welterweight world title. That's the sweetheart division, right? Yeah. We're at 147 there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh. Yep. Just something to add there.
147 welterweight. Welterweight used to be a very popular division. It's historically been popular. So, yeah, if you're welterweight, you would be popping in the 80s and leading on.
Let's do a look. Let's do a real sprint on the rundown of belt holders here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that division. No, we got to run it back because you got Boots just jumped up.
I think that was Boots' belt. So
the IBF.
That answers that question. So, We're going welterweight. Brian Norman Jr., Lewis Crocker, Jerron Ennis. So Mario Barrios and Rolando Romero is the WBA regular champion. So the WBA. So he was holding two of those belts. It looks like he was holding the IBF and WBA, I think. And so
Rolly is the champ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a Riyadh season Norman Haney matchup. Who was booed when he was shown on the screen in Vegas.
Right.
That's interesting because he's a West Coast guy. Vegas typically leans that way, but
wait a minute now. So that lets you know this is nothing to gloss over because we may get potentially a Lewis Crocker. Guess who I'm about to say?
Oh, our guy from San Antonio.
No, Manny Pacquiao.
Oh, no, you're right. You are absolutely right. Yeah, Pacquiao, like, he rubbing his hands like Birdman. Like, yeah.
He's just letting the cards fall. He's just letting the cards fall. Like, Pacquiao, low-key, is
about to make me act up.
Is like the ultimate cherry picker. Like, Pacquiao, you take that hiatus and come back and just do what you did, and then you're just back in the mix again.
As an old man fighter, why not, man? I mean, I can't blame him. He survived against Barrios.
Right. Pacquiao is like 2 generations above these current fighters. Like, he's like, Pacquiao is even before the Floyd generation.
But there's some drama in this. So we got Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney. Supposed to be taking place. All right. And now,
is Rolando trying to fight?
We might get a Rolly versus Barrios. That's the same. Yeah. That's the same side of the street type of scenario.
And Rolly has the WBA. Is that what it is?
Yes. Boots his old belt.
So I'm looking on Box right now. I see the IBF, WBC. I guess we're not having IBF. I didn't realize they didn't have that on here. So anyway,
maybe that was.
We have the IBO.
Yeah.
Rolly's WBA, I believe.
Yeah.
So there's some intrigue there.
There's some good matches to make. Trying to figure out where this guy fits in all this. Ryan Garcia. Do you still see the need for him to be in that mix? Do you see another Rolly versus Garcia? Or is he on timeout right now? I didn't fix himself a little bit.
I mean, that's another name you throw in there, throw in the pot. So maybe Ryan Garcia versus Patty Donovan.
There you go.
Hey, yeah. It'll be one of those type matchups. Yeah, I would agree.
His stock went down, but I think he's still a name. He's still a name. His stock went down, but his name. All right. On a somber, sad note, British fighter Ricky Hatton passed away today. Reasons to cause, I don't know. I have not done research yet. But I mean, he gave us a lot of great fights. One of my high school memories was Floyd Mayweather versus Hatton, and how much I was afraid for Floyd to fight this guy. And
build-up was crazy.
Yeah, he was at his height, he was a very scary fighter. He was the champion overseas for a long time. His hype leaked to the United States. You hardly ever see that happen, because you could be a champion out there, be popular, selling out arenas, and it never gets to the United States, But he got popular in the United States, had a big following, both, I mean, there's always that whole thing of, white boxer versus black boxer thing. And, You know, in the bars, people getting split up like, yo, I'm supporting the White Hope or whatever. You know, I remember that. You know, there's some fights I'll never forget. Like same way I'll never forget Mexico versus a Mexican fighter versus an African American fighter in Executioner versus Golden Boy. The build up, the you know how much Vim was used to kind of, and they played with race on these type of promotions, right? They play with culture and that type of thing. And I remember Ricky was one of those guys that was in that mix. Looking at his illustrious record, this guy fought 48 fights, 45 of them. Only lost 3 times.
Defeated the likes of Ben Tacky by unanimous decision. Ray Oliveira by KO. Costa he retired in the 11th round. Luis Collazo, unanimous decision. A knockout for Jose Luis Castillo. Knocked out Paulie Malignaggi. So
he has names in his resume. I mean, Pacquiao. I remember the Pacquiao fight. He was getting to, that was in 2009. He had lost his mystique. Floyd kind of unlocked him. I think Floyd was his first loss, and he got beat. Floyd beat him when he was 43 fights in. 43 victories in. And Floyd unlocked him and knocked him out, or technically knocked him out. TKO'd him. And I think that's when Floyd moved from Pretty Boy to Money. That was his pivoting time. And people forget that Floyd, Pretty Boy knocked out people. And this is 2007. Pretty Boy was knocking out people. He knocked out Ricky Hatton. Floyd he had power, but he had issues. Floyd kept on breaking his hand in training. He literally had to get special wrapping. And did he ever get surgery for his hands, Floyd? Because he kept on breaking them.
I don't recall, but we had a retirement in there for Floyd at some point. So
yeah, because he could not generate the power that he wants to, so he started becoming the Money Mayweather, the guy that people were calling him the what's the Stucky call it, the Tom and Jerry? Does he call it Tom and Jerry? Tom and Jerry running around and that type of. But people need to go back and watch Pretty Boy, man. Pretty Boy was knocking out people. But Ricky Hatton, dare I say, a legend. British boxing, I've lost one of their pillars, and someone that made the early 2000s leading on to the late 2010. I think he's the last time I saw him fight, 2009, 2010. He made that decade great watching this sport. Him, I'll even put him, one of my favorite of all time. What's that British fighter from that same generation? Kalzawi?
Jose, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Kalzawi? Yeah. That they were like the pillars back then, and they kind of extended their popularity to the United States.
Joe Calzaghe.
Calzaghe, yeah. And yeah, salute to the legend. Rest in peace. Thoughts and prayers to his family and the fans of British boxing. On that note, I don't want to talk about the UFC because even the owner was not even in attendance for this San Antonio card. Should I run through that event, or I didn't watch it, to tell you the truth?
See what
I do have the result here.
What events
they call it?
Up?
They call it Noche, the night Noche, the whatever. But it was supposed to be a
Mexican themed.
Exactly, Mexican Independence Day theme. So
yeah. So the main card of that event, this is the fight night, so it does not have the marquee numbered UFC events. These are but these are Friday fight night. I'm saying Friday fight night. It's not Friday fight night. This was Saturday. We have Diego Lopez versus Gene Silva. Diego Lopez defeated Gene Silva by TKO in the second round at 4 minutes 48 seconds with a spinning back elbow. finish. This was in the featherweight division. No belt associated to this. Moving on to the bantamweight division, we have David Martinez versus Rob Font. David Martinez edged out a victory, but actually not edged out, but beat Rob Font unanimously. And all three judges went to the favor of David Martinez with 28-27. So that's an edge. So unanimous, but it's kind of like you edged it. So we have Rafa Garcia versus Jared Gordon, lightweight bout. Rafa Garcia defeated Jared Gordon by TKO in the third round, minute 2:27. Finished him with a barrage of elbows on a ground and pound sequence. Moving on to UFC veteran Kevin Gosselin versus Dustin Stolfus, if I'm saying Stolfus. These names. Middleweight bout. Kevin won by unanimous decision with judges scoring 30, 27, 29, 28, 29, 28. Two judges had the same score. And then moving on to Alexander Hernandez versus Diego Ferreira at the lightweight division. Alexander Hernandez defeated Diego Ferreira by TKO in the second round, minute 3:46 seconds. Finally, we'll talk about Santiago Luna versus, this is a Chinese name, Q Lee. And this was in the bantamweight division. Santiago Luna, record 7 victories, no losses, no draws. Lee, 9 victories, 3 losses, 0 draws. Luna won in the first round by KO in 2 minutes, 4 seconds. And that was our UFC San Antonio recap that I didn't watch.
Yeah.
It was just Saturday was devoted to boxing. Sorry. I love my MMA, but it was just such a monumental day that I kind of just slipped through the cracks. I mean, even Dana White didn't watch it, right? He owns the thing. So fellas, do you have any other coverage? We've hit an hour 20 of the show. Anything that you would like to cover? Oh, is it me sharing? No.
How about that? You see that?
Yeah. September 18th. This is in Australia. All right.
Oh, I was looking at upcoming fights. Oh, you got a fight in Detroit. Okay.
So we got Leo Paro, that's a name. Welterweights. Okay,
Yeah.
There we go. Brock Jarvis, that's a name. Junior middleweight. Okay.
And the Australia fights, they're not going to be televised. I see this okay.
DeAndre Savage, that's a name. I think he's out of Flint, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense being in Detroit.
Makes sense.
I think he played football at Butler. I could be mistaken. Let me fact check.
Oh, so this is the women's headlining event for the WBC women's middleweight title. So has Clarissa vacated that title?
This might be
because don't she have all the belts in all the divisions?
Oh, there's a lot of boxing going on. So we have fights on the 20th too. What day is that? Is that Sunday?
That's got to be a Saturday, right?
Here you go. September 20th, Gabriela Fondora.
She's unified in the flyweight
versus Alexis Kubicki. There you go on the zone. So
yeah, she's golden boy. She's a golden boy fighter.
Got a strawweight fight. I think that's like 110 or something.
Yeah, they're very small. We have 4 people watching us live. Please feel free to like, subscribe, leave a comment.
Ooh, that's trippy.
That will all help us, kind of find our space in the ether. you know, in the algorithm out here, you know, just it helps us, you know, find our, you know, our space, and it kind of like populates, or will be put in recommendations for people that have shared content. With that being said, do you fellas, do you have any closing remarks? Anything that you'd want to bring up? Things that you're looking forward to? Any other big? Which other big fight do we have?
October, Boots Ennis versus Usima Lima, and then you got the Sebastian Fundora versus Keith Thurman late October.
Nice.
So those would be some interesting matchups to watch.
Okay. Can we bite on what's being kind of teased, which is a possible Andy Ruiz versus the Bronze Bomber? Or is that
we should bite on all that. That's all entertainment.
Or is that just blowing smoke and just trying to troll and get some, you know?
No, we need to bite on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would want to see it. Although I know what the outcome is going to be, but I want to see it because both fighters. I mean, we've seen Wilder fight recently here in Wichita back in June. I've not seen. I don't believe Andy Ruiz has been as active. I can't remember his last fight. I think he fought. He beat actually. He may have beaten King Kong. No. Let's see here. Andy Ruiz. If Andy Ruiz Jr. last fought back in, and he's getting up there in age too. Thought he was younger than that. He last fought Jarrell Miller last year, August 3rd. So he's not been active for a full year, and then the year before last year he had not fought 2 years. He last fought before he fought Jarrell Miller. He last fought King Kong back in 2022. So he's been, and then Chris Arreola 2021. So he's not as an active fighter. I wonder how he keeps his body in shape because he's always struggled with, you know, not if he's not active, he's not. I don't know. Last time I saw he had lost weight, then he had gained it back. So if I
think he's out here sparring. I think he's sparring.
Yeah, I mean he needs to be active. He's one of them fighters that has a little bit of Usyk in him where his hand speed is a lot faster than most heavyweights. He surprises people. And I just want to see how Deontay Wilder could handle a quick-handed fighter rather than, you know, what he's used to. So yeah, I would definitely would like to see that fight. Kam Gee's not here. I was looking. Well, we've hit our 1 hour, almost 30-minute mark. Do you have anything to share, LT?
Man, just excited, just happy for the state of boxing, man. Got a big week coming up ahead, man. So
yeah, so episode 68, we almost reaching that 70, which will be a milestone number for us. We've had some great fights as Kam Gee joins us. We had some great fights that we've watched this year so far, and I'm assuming, you know, more fights are coming. More fights are going to be coming in with the scheduling that is happening. But with that being said, I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed yesterday. Enjoyed talking to the two of you today about what we saw yesterday, and been great. And with that being said, episode, like I said, 68 of Who's Fighting. Ladies and gentlemen, who is fighting? And we out.